Hi there, welcome to my channel and welcome to part 3 of my Museum Monday playthrough. So last week I was having a couple of issues with Blathers in that because he's squeamish he doesn't like collecting frogs or fish. So it kind of slowed me down and hampered my progress a little bit. So this week I'm going to try one more time to see how much progress I can make with him, because he can still do things like getting the fossils, the city posters and the space prints. But when it comes to the frogs, the fish and the insects, it's going to be very slow if I just use him. So I think I may add Celeste, which is Blathers' sister, to the house to help complete the collections. But for now, I'm going to carry on with Blathers, doing what I can and going after the collections that I know he can get. I'll try and get him to try fishing here and there where he can. The fish is probably going to be the biggest issue because there are over 50 fish to collect. And as soon as he catches one, he's sick, and I really can only attempt to catch one a day. So it's going to take a ridiculous length of time if I do just use him for that. But I'm going to try and chip away at it while I get everything else together. So I am going to look at this more logically now. You can see there I have 10 out of 25 of the frogs. I'm going to really go after the frog breeding. I was kind of just breeding them fairly randomly last week. This week I'm going to lay them out in the house into a grid pattern, which is what I did the last time I did a playthrough where I completed the base game collections. I'll put them out in a grid pattern, and I actually see there's a new one there with life and death, which I wasn't aware of. So I'm going to have to go and figure out how to get that one, because I won't be able to get that one by breeding. But the others, I'll put them out in a grid and then I can see which ones are missing and I'll know how I need to breed. And I can strategically breed to fill in my gaps, because if I don't have to waste time making Blathers uncomfortable getting him collecting frogs, I can instead use that uncomfortable moment to have him go fishing or looking for insects. So that will be the plan for today. While Blathers was asleep, I did do a little bit more frog breeding, but now that he's up, I'm going to get him to go around and do all of his collections for the day. I am a little bit concerned that the prairie grass has been good, it's been quite abundant, but I am a bit concerned that if he finds a frog in the prairie grass, that could make him uncomfortable. But I'll let him carry on doing that just now. And because it has been raining constantly since I started this playthrough with Blathers, I'm going to give him the waterproof trait because I have enough satisfaction points to pay for that. That will definitely help, because sometimes that's been the reason that he's been uncomfortable when he's been out and about. It's been because of the rain rather than anything else. And if I take that away, there's maybe a better chance that his uncomfortable moodlets relating to things like the frogs and the fish won't last as long if he doesn't also have an uncomfortable moodlet from the rain boosting the overall mood. There actually weren't any frog logs today, so I've just put Blathers straight to fishing now that he's done all his collecting in the neighbourhood. And I can already see that he does have an uncomfortable moodlet, but he's not so uncomfortable that he will stop. But as soon as he catches a fish, he will unfortunately stop. And that's him caught a fish there, and that's one that he's already got. I know it is. He's only caught 2 different fish so far, but I recognise that one. I didn't get the little notification that he'd caught something new. And there he's very uncomfortable, so I can't ask him to fish anymore. So unfortunately I'm just going to have to send him home. So I've taken Blathers to the Moonwood Mill Library. There are probably other locations in the game where you can do this, but I do know that there's a space observatory at the Moonwood Mill Library, so I figured this was a good place for me to take him to so that he can use that to get some of the space prints. So here it is here, and at this time of day the option is observe the sky. I think the other option is, there's a different option at night. That's the option during the day, observe the sky. There's a different option at night, and I think once they get to level 7 of the logic skill, possibly lower or higher, but it's around about there, they can then search for the truth, and that'll be how he'll find the last couple of space prints. I'm not sure exactly how finding the space prints works. I'm not sure if you find different ones at different times of day, or if it's a random chance which ones you can get. There are several that you can get using the observe the sky command, but I'm not sure how many he'll be able to find just now, so I'll see how he gets on. I got a bit impatient waiting to get a space print, and because Blathers was comfortable I sent him to fish, and all he caught was a Moonwood Mill relic, and then he got too uncomfortable to fish anymore. So I had to take him home. So unfortunately we don't have any of the space prints yet, but since we're back home I am going to make some of the changes to his lot. And the first thing I'm going to do is get rid of that rogue mailbox at the back there that spawned onto the lot when I moved him in, even though I have a mailbox here at the front door. And now I'm going to move the frogs. They will ultimately be on the ground floor level to the right hand side like that, but for the moment I'm going to put them up a floor because there's more floor space there for me to space them out and see them all. And I'm going to put an aquarium in because he's got a couple of fish in his inventory that I can add to that aquarium now. I can't remember what the capacity for the aquariums are. I think there is a limit to how many fish each aquarium will take, but I only need the one just now because I do only have 2 fish and they can certainly take a lot more than 2. And literally the only reason I chose that aquarium over any of the others is because I think it's the better looking of the other options that I had. And since I'm here, I'm also just going to add the curtains. The Animal Crossing Museum, I'll put a picture up here, has these sort of red curtains on the outside. So I think probably these ones here will be fit for the purpose that I'm looking for. Yeah, they look about right, so I'm going to add a couple of them. Okay, there we are, and I'm going to change the colour of the roof to make it a bit bluer, so that it's actually blue like the roof in Animal Crossing. So using this one here, that's a nice bright blue, so that looks a bit better now. I will ultimately change the door to make it a bit bigger in keeping with the front of the museum so that it looks more like the museum in the game. But for now that's just a couple of little changes, and now I'm going to go and move the frogs so that I can see which ones I have and which ones I don't have readily at a glance. So there are 5 different frog types and then 5 different subtypes. So I'm going to put them in a grid of 5 across and 5 down. The 5 different types are dirt frog, eggplant frog, heart frog, leaf frog and sunflower frog. And then the subtypes are none, spotted, striped, surfer and whirl. So what that means is there'll be, when it's none, it'll just be a dirt frog. If it's spotted, it'll be a spotted dirt frog. Striped is a striped dirt frog. Surfer is a dirt surfer frog. And then whirl is a dirt whirl frog. And so on. So I'm going to put the different frogs going up and down the way, and then I'm going to put the types across the way. And I'll be able to see where there's gaps in that grid, how to get the ones that are missing. So for example, if I had a spotted dirt frog and a striped eggplant frog, if I cross them I might be able to get a striped dirt frog or a spotted eggplant frog, or I might just get the same of one of the parent frogs. They can swap over types and subtypes by breeding them together like that. So if I can see where the gaps are, I'll know how I need to do my next lot of breeding. Okay, so I'm going to get Blathers to go to bed. He's not very tired, but it's quite late at night and I do want him to get up in the morning, so I'll just send him to bed just now. He was bored of that movie anyway, which he chose to watch. I didn't ask him to. Oh, and I'm getting robbed. I've got a burglar coming. Great. It's actually robbing banks as well. So I'm going to confront the burglar. He doesn't, Blathers definitely doesn't have the skill to fight the burglar. He hardly has any fitness skill, so I'll get him to confront the burglar. And if that doesn't work, I can call the police. I do have a burglar alarm as well, but hopefully she doesn't steal anything because I don't really want to have to go out and recollect parts of my collection if she steals anything. Okay, she didn't actually enter my property yet, so that's not quite so bad. I think she was probably going to go for that curtain.
Vu Bargloob, Gerblar, snatch him.
Okay, he's managed to chase her off just by shouting at her, so that's good. That's good, I'll just send him back to bed just now then. I did a little bit more frog breeding while Blathers was asleep, and I now actually have all of the dirt frogs. So I'm going to lay them out in a row here. You'll see I've got the dirt frog, the spotted dirt frog, the striped dirt frog, the dirt surfer, and the dirt whirl frog. So this is good because this means I can now get the subtypes of any other type of frog. Like if I've got just a plain eggplant frog, I can cross it with any of those other dirt frogs to be able to get all the other types of eggplant frog and so on. I was trying to get Blathers to speak to these Sims here, and the first option for this man here is accuse him of being the burglar, because obviously he looks exactly like Robin Banks. So I'm just going to do that. I'm going to accuse him of being the burglar, even though he looks nothing like her. Let's just do that because that's funny.
Blaffa Carbo.
Oh, she's drawn a line in the dirt with his foot. And then the other guy's trying to wipe it out. Okay. It's very strange. I am having a little bit of an issue with this sim because she keeps calling Blathers and turning up when I take him places and coming to his house. She's the one who originally contacted him because she had a crush on him from a distance, and I asked if we could just be friends, but it's not stopped her coming over and trying to flirt with him all the time. So I think she probably does still have an attraction to him, so I'm just going to go in and have a look and see in their relationship panel what exactly is going on. So here she is here, so she's got some turn-ons and turn-offs. So she's turned on by being broke and having a sense of humour, which I suppose Blathers does. And she's turned on by nature enthusiasts and cerebral sims, which him being a genius and having the collector aspiration, he is both of those things. And she is very attracted to him. His attraction to her is neutral because I didn't give him any preferences, but she is very attracted to him, so that's part of that problem. That's where that's coming from. I think that's her away, so that's good. I don't really want to encourage it. I don't really have time to be fostering a romantic relationship with someone. That's not what this playthrough's about. Blathers has woken up thinking about Robin Banks. He keeps thinking about her. He wants to chat with her. But when I go into their relationship panel, it still shows that there's negative feelings between them because he confronted the burglar. They've still got the negative confronted the burglar sentiment between them. But he constantly has as one of his wants to go and speak to her. So I'm back at the Moonwood Mill Library to do some observing of the sky, and I've just noticed on this punching bag that there's a crudely drawn vampire face on the werewolf's punching bag. I've never noticed that before, and I'm surprised at myself. It's not on this other one. Yeah, I'm surprised at myself because I've played with the werewolves a lot. That is easily my favourite side or aspect of The Sims 4. So I'm very surprised I hadn't noticed that one before. Okay, so that's a collectible print of the sky being added to Blathers' inventory. So that's me got one of the space prints. So since he needs to go to the toilet, I'll stop and let him go, and then I'll go back in and we'll carry on trying and see if I can get any more. So there it is there, Star-Crossed Lovers. So that's just got the first of the space prints. I got a notification that Blathers had got another space print, but looking in his inventory, it's just the same one again, so he's now got two of those. It's fine because I can sell it for money, but I had hoped that I would be able to get some different ones. So I've got 3 of the same space prints now. I don't seem to be getting any new ones, so I don't know if I need to just go away and come back at another time to continue to see if I can get the rest that way. Akira invited Blathers to one of the festivals, and I thought I'll just go because I'm not finding space prints. And immediately Blathers is annoyed because he's got the tense moodlet about the burglar. Tensions rising, bitter about the burglar nearby, so Robin Banks must be here somewhere. But, you know, he has almost constantly had a want to speak to Robin Banks, but then the minute he's getting close to her, he's getting angry. I think that's her there away to join the pranksters there. Yeah, see, he's got a negative relationship and sentiment towards her, but even now in his wants I can see her face, because he still wants to talk to her. Sims logic sometimes really doesn't make much sense. So yeah, there you go. Blathers is wanting to chat to Robin, but he's still got his tense moodlet from her being nearby. So I'll get him to speak to her, but I don't know how well that's going to go. So Robin's coming over to see Blathers. Oh, and she's doing the hand buzzer on him. And somehow that's made him like her more. Very strange. So while Blathers is sleeping, I'm just gonna, or while he's on his way to his bed, I'm just gonna do some frog breeding to see if I can fill in some of the gaps that I've got now that I know how to target my breeding. Something that I already had, so I'll just sell the extra one. And I've got those space prints, so I'll put one up on the wall. The art area in the museum is upstairs and on the right, so I'll put the prints up where the frogs are at the moment because that will be the art area ultimately. I've got 4 of those. I ended up with 4 space prints that were the same from using the Observe the Sky action. So hopefully if I go back on a different day I'll be able to get different prints. And these ones I'll just sell for the money. Something I've been forgetting to do when I've been doing my morning collections is work on Blathers' aspiration. He's at the milestone where he needs to send samples to the Geo Council. So I see he's got a crystal or a metal there. So I'll send that away when he gets back. He has to send 5 samples away and he has to collect 5 elements. So by sending the 5 away, he'll get the elements sent back to him. So I'm going to get him to do that just to help him progress with his aspiration as well. And this lady is just not giving up. because here she goes again, telling me how much she's got a crush on Blathers. So I'm going to ask her to just be friends and hope that she'll continue to be a friend to Blathers, because he does need friends, but I really don't have time for him to be having romantic relationships with anyone. I've now got 16 out of 25 of the frogs, and I've got one of every type. I've only got one heart frog. I've got the striped heart frog. The rest of the ones, the dirt, eggplant, leaf and sunflower, I've got a few different subtypes of those types of frogs. But basically now that I've got the 5 basic types and I've got the 5 subtypes on the dirt frog there, I can breed any combination of the ones that I don't have. So other than finding out where the one is in Ravenwood, because I'm guessing I'll have to go to Ravenwood to find that new one that comes with the life and death pack, I should be able to complete that collection without getting Blathers to do any more searching for frogs. So I am now going to have him focus on the space prints and the city posters. I've not had a lot of luck with the city posters. I've been going into the city early, but they're gone already, so I don't know if I need to go there at like 4 o'clock in the morning so that I'm there when they spawn at 5 a.m. I might try that next week and see how I get on, and hopefully I'll be able to collect some more of them. I'm going to try to chip away doing a bit of fishing here and there where I can to try to get the fish collection completed, because at least now that he's not going to be grossed out by picking up frogs, I've got more capacity or scope to gross him out by fishing. And after that, obviously, I have to get the bugs as well, and I might have to start looking into doing that sooner rather than later as well. So I am going to leave it there for this week, based on the progress that I've made this week, given that I've got enough now that I can create the rest of the frogs myself. I don't feel like I need to add Celeste to the household just yet. Once I've got all the space prints and the city posters, I might add her then, and then take a vacation in Granite Falls and bring her with me, and she can help me collect bugs, and we can both go fishing, and we can try and complete some more of the collections that way. That's it for this week's episode. Tune in next week, and hopefully we'll make some more substantial progress. Thanks for watching.